Oh, finally, summer. Oh, that was a tough spring. So we're here today to talk about how we're going to predict our divots. In other words, we're predicting solid contact, of course. And in order to do that, we need to have a very reliable action to target. To remind you, if we had a sword and we had something to cut through, I would use the weight of my sword to slash through, let's say, the bamboo shoot or whatever that was in front of me. Notice how my head stays there as I can get through whatever I'm trying to cut. If my head moves forward, now I'm just shaving bark down the tree, no good. If I slide off, now I'm slicing up the tree. Now I feel like I can go through the tree. So let's look at where the release occurs. There's the beginning of cut, end of cut, release. There's the release of my swing. Put it in my left hand, get behind, gather, release. Notice how I don't do this to cut through. So I'm using the weight of my sword to slash through that bamboo shoot. So if my center stays intact, then my release will end up releasing me at the right place every time. So number one, we need a consistent area of release in the direction that we want to start the ball. Now we can predict where we're going to need to put the ball. Now I've used this tee here as what my head's going to stay behind. And so if I do a practice swing, now here's what I want you to get. If I had a ball and a string and I simply give it randomly to gravity, notice how the G-forces are tracking this thing into a beautiful arc. See that? So the center of that arc is right here. Notice how it's going a little up and down. When the ball is up, I'm pulling down. When the ball is down, I'm pulling up. So I could do it with my feet or my legs, or I can do it with my hand and my arm. So I take this and I want to clip the tip of the tee. My brain says, well, we're a little too far, get closer. We're a little too high, get lower. That's pretty darn accurate, isn't it? Same thing on this side. We're too far. I can see the blur. Get closer. Get lower. Now we're in business. So you notice how I'm using my prediction process, determining where that is. So if I randomly set up, got my center, and from here I'm just going to let the club release me to the target. I'm going to see where the blur is going to pass. Yes, I felt a nice release there, and I saw the blur pass here. So I get lower. I get closer. So it's not my job to clip the tee. It's my job to allow the club and the arms to track like a ball on a string and go get some G-forces. So now, if I let my club release me over here, like the sword releases me through the cut, it feels like I'm going to nick the tip of the tee. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm letting it release. Yes, I let it release. Yes, I clip the tip of the tee. Now, let's say I want to clip the tip of the tee on the way up. Well, that feels like the low point is there, and it feels like I'm going to clip it on the way up. So my eyes are on the tee. It feels like I'm a little lower than the tee here, but it feels like I'm going to be ascending through the tip of the tee on the way through. Let it release. Yes, I let it release. Yes, I clip the tip of the tee on the way up. That's for the driver. If I was hitting a low shot into the wind, I'd play the ball further back in my stance. Now it feels like I'm going to clip the tip of the tee on the way down. So low point is here. Bringing the club back, now it feels like the low point, the club is going to come down through the tip of the tee. See that? I even caught the front of the mat right there. So I'm going through the tip of the tee on the way down. So now let's put a ball on that. And you can do all kinds of predictions from here. So you say, all right, if I'm over here and I let it release, my head stays behind the ball and I'm going to feel the release out there, I'm going to miss it. Okay, let's see. Yes, I let it release. Yes, I missed. So I get way too low. So now, if I let it release from there, it feels like I'm going to hit the base of the tee, and I'm going to go clean underneath the ball. Okay, let it release out there. My attention's over there. My prediction is that the sole of the club is going to clip the base of the tee. Let it release over there. Yes, I let it release over there. Yes, I clipped the base of the tee, and the ball just fell off the tee. So if I want to hit this ball solid, I want to feel like the tip of the tee is right there at the base of the club. So now it feels like the sole of the club is going to clip the tip of the tee. Slightly on the way down, there's the low point, if I let it release out there. Okay, I'm letting it release out there. I'm letting it release out there. And that was nutted, right in the center of that club face. So my prediction came true. And most of you are going to go, okay, yep, I'm letting it release there. Okay, let's make sure I hit the ball. And now you're trying to hit the ball and you're releasing there. And when you're releasing there, here's me releasing out there. Yes, I released out there. Now here's me releasing down there. See how I'm able to go all the way to the base of that tee by releasing there. But if I release out there, I'm missing the tee. So your distance between you and the ball changes dramatically depending on where you are mentally at the moment of truth, just before you swing. So the task is, we're letting the sword release us out there. I feel very centered behind it. So if I'm going to go on the way up, that feels like I'm going to hit the ball very high. I'm clipping the tip of the tee on the way up. My eyes are on the tee, and I know where the tip of the tee is in space. If I let it release out there from here, it's going to go sky high. Here we go. Super solid. And that went up there. Still in the air. Just landed. So you notice how I caught that ball on the way up. And if I was hitting that low driving draw into a 4-club wind, see where I'm at? See how close that is? Now it feels like I'm going to catch this on the way down. So the tip of the tee on the way down, I'm going to let the sword release out there. Let it release through the tip of the tee. What's it feel like? Oh yeah, there's the sword releasing me there. What's it going to feel like? Oh yeah, I know what that feels like. Yes, I released it out there, and now it's right there, landing. So how do you want to project it? So you pick the flight you want, and then you figure out where the tip of the tee's got to be, in, where it has to be. Where does the ball need to be in the way of that? So if we put the ball on the mat now, and let's look at where the club actually skips the ground. So if I release out there, I miss the grass. Here we go. Yes, I released out there. Yes, I missed the grass. So I get lower. Still going to miss the grass if I release out there. Get a little lower. Yeah, I'm going to nick the grass maybe, which means thin contact. So I get a little lower. Yeah, that feels like I'm going to take a nice strip of grass if I let the sword release me out there. Now watch where it actually takes the strip. I'm releasing out there. Did you see how low it stayed on the way through? I mean, the divot would be at least that long along the surface of the ground. So it felt like all I had to do was let it release out there, and you will see where the divot wants to happen. Now, if your head moves forward, well, divot's going to happen over there. That's no good. You have that reference point to keep your head back. When the head stays back, there. See? Divot's over here. Basically starting from center position forward. So if I'm over here, I predict I'm going to top the ball if I let the club release me out there, because my divot's going to happen starting there, ending there, then on the way out, it'll top the ball. So I'm going to let the club release me out there. Awesome. The perfect top. And if the ball is too far back in my stance, see that? Now it feels like I'm going to catch the ball on the way down. So let's see about that. So I'm letting it release out there. That's a little trickier. There you go. Topped it on the way down. And if I place it right where I feel like it's going to start, center position forward. So now that the ball is in the way, I'm going to catch the ball first naturally. Well, I don't have to worry about where the divot's going to be. I don't have to worry about ball contact either. All I need to concern myself with is letting the sword release me out there. So my head stays behind the ball, and I'm letting my sword release me out there. Let it release me. Let it release me. Perfect contact. Caught ball first, and divot after. If I over tilt, feels like I'm going to hit the ground here. If I under tilt, feels like I'm going to hit the ground here. I want to cut grass along the surface of the ground that way. So when I let it release, I'm good. Still good, still good. Let it release out there. Yep. Nice straight draw right in the direction I want it to go. So get very familiar with, that's releasing me. That's releasing me. Stay behind something. Stick an alignment rod in the ground to keep your head behind the alignment rod as you perform that task. And then feel the same thing. Yes, I felt the same right hand snap over the left hand, just like in baseball. You're going to feel that right hand snap over the left hand. Do not let go of that bat. And then I lower myself, predict where the sole of the club is going to cut grass if I release out there. Put the ball just before the club starts cutting grass, and you'll nut it. Enjoy.